But now I might be able to find some other purpose for this stuff. And even if I just use it for, you know, animal housing or whatever, it's better than it just sitting out here. Today, I had a different set of eyes when I was looking around. This is one of the reasons why if I don't have a specific purpose for something on this property here, I really don't mess with it. I don't move it. If it's something like there's stuff out in the field there that my pigs don't mess with, and it's actually incredibly heavy, some old piping and whatnot. And so if it's not causing any harm and I don't have a set purpose for it intended currently, then I generally just don't create more work for myself. And one thing that has been here since we bought this place is this old shed, or parts of an old shed, that have just been staying here. Now I will say I did slightly move some of this out of the way so that I can fence this pasture off, but no more than just, like, you know, rotating it around a few feet or whatever. But I have been wanting to build a workstation for the mobile home that we've got on this property, that is basically just storage. There's no permanent power, no permanent sewer or anything like that hooked up. I do have water run out there because one of my chicken coops is attached to it. But I've been planning for a while. One of the material runs for the house renovation that I did, I got some extra plywood and some extra dimensional lumber, 2x4s and whatnot, to build some additional workspace, mobile workspace, something that be on wheels. And I ended up using the dimensional lumber for the last exterior wall that we put up, putting in the additional framing and things like that. So I'm short the amount that I normally would have on hand, and with the lumber prices that they are because of this whole COVID thing, I'm not really interested in paying $6 per 2x4 at the moment for that. Now, if it were something on the house, then I would do that. And had I not had the extra lumber at the time, I would have gone out and bought the lumber to be able to do that job. But as it stands, that little wall, first let me show you the shop here. So this is an old double wide trailer that I cleaned up. This was full of garbage, and although it's full of different kind of garbage, this garbage actually can make stuff. So all my like off-cut OSB stuff, I store my chicken plucker and things like that in here. But I use this workspace. So there's a peninsula countertop, and then there's an island countertop in here, and I have it to where I can level my table saw with those, and create a larger space to be able to cut on. Drill presses, I can move those around to whatever. But I'd like to create a mobile miter saw stand. I do have, if you see over in that corner there, I do have a miter saw stand, and it does have the extendable arms, but I usually use that one on job site stuff, like if I'm in the house and especially doing trim and things like that. That's what I would use that for. So if this saw were just sitting in the shop, which it does a lot, I mean, there's times where I just set it up here and I'll cut whatever I need to cut. But I've got a couple sheets of 3/4 inch plywood that are taking up a lot of floor space right now. And so I want to cut this down to the dimensions that I want, but I don't have the lumber, the dimensional lumber, 2x4s and everything like that for the frame of that. So I have to decide if I'm going to just cut it down so that it's a little bit easier to store. I haven't wanted to do that because I don't want it to warp. This little scrap piece here was actually something that I was planning on using for something, and then I got sidetracked, and so now there's like a big twist in this. I may still be able to salvage some of that, but for using it for a sled or a fence or anything like that probably is not going to happen unless I use it to sandwich with other wood and straighten it out and clamp it up. Hey Bubba, is Dad talking? Dad talking? What is this? Did you throw up? You okay? So that brings me to the idea that I have now. This may turn out to be a moot point because I may take that thing apart and the wood is not really all that great to build with. Might be eaten up with bugs and whatever, but it at least has gotten me thinking of how I can repurpose something else on the farm that's just been kind of sitting here. And I probably would have just gone out and bought the regular lumber if it had been a little bit cheaper, but now I might be able to find some other purpose for this stuff. And even if I just use it for animal housing or whatever, it's better than it just sitting out here. So I think what I'm gonna do, and I measured, this is 6 feet wide, this is 8 feet long. I could see over there in that corner just by looking at it that at least the end of that piece is no good. I don't know what the condition of this plywood is, but that'll give me some other good, at the very least, windbreak material. And there are a few projects that I need to get on now that it's getting a little bit cooler outside, a little bit easier to work on certain things, and I have an idea of moving at least one of my chicken tractors over to that grasture area that I filmed in earlier. But this is another project here, is that I've got all this old tin aluminum roofing that was up on this car port cover, whatever you want to call this, and it was missing a lot of pieces. It was ripped up. We get pretty high winds out here, and at some point in time some of the nails gave way and the wind caught the corner, and then that started tearing the material. So it wasn't good for what its original purpose was. But what I'm going to use it for is to secure the sides and top of my chicken tractor, and The original plans for this chicken tractor I actually got from Lumna Acres, Al over at Lumna Acres. If you don't know his channel, I would recommend at least taking a look. I haven't actually looked at his content in a long time, but when I first got started here, I was kind of looking at a bunch of different ideas, and this style chicken tractor, using the fence pickets and 1-bys and everything, was originally inspired by him. And he talks about using a tarp, but I've had several of these tarps get torn up. The sun tears them up, the cats tear them up, the chickens tear them up, and then the chickens want to eat all the strands and everything like that. And I've used, when it's been stationary, I've used OSB siding as a windbreak, but that is too heavy to want to really move it around. So the benefit is that aluminum is really light, and I would just cover at least part of the top, if not all the top, but at least that back half there. Remains to be seen whether I'm going to cover this front part at all. And another reason being is that if I put it out in that grasture area and the sprinkler is running, then I don't want it to spray all over the chickens. But that way I can move my chickens around in that grassy area over there, give them a little bit of extra forage to kind of play with throughout the day, give them scratch and whatnot. Hopefully there's some bugs and everything that they can get to, but then also my grass will actually get the benefit of their manure and the scratching and loosening of the soil. Please like this video if you found it useful or entertaining or anything like that. Please share this video with anybody that you think might actually be interested in something like this, and please subscribe to our channel. So as always, thanks for joining us, and until next time, God bless.